But, hi Barney, nice to meet
Hello,
you.
yeah.
This is the third of 13 shows on an extensive Iberian tour. You really love us.
Yeah, I mean, it's, Spain, the Basque Country, and Catalonia and Galicia has always been great to us. You know, we were one of the first bands of our sort of general ilk to come here. You know, in '91. You know, when it was it was definitely a lot smaller network. There wasn't many. The scene wasn't very developed. You know, it was quite young. You know, so it was an interesting time. You know, but
maybe in Euskal Herria there's always traditionally have been a good response, no?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's I think the Basque Country and Napalm Death has a very ideological connection. You know, so
sure it is. Well, the next question you have already answered it, so
sure.
I hand the microphone to Frank.
Hi.
Hi.
Your last album, Apex Predator Resubmission, is another amazing work. Your DNA is always present, but you constantly manage to deliver something different every time. What is your secret to keep evolving your proposal?
I mean, there's no secret to it, really. It comes pretty naturally.
Yeah.
You know, after the same people being in the band for sort of 30-ish years, you develop a kind of chemistry, you know. So it's it's actually better that you don't think too much about it, that you try and make it spontaneous, you know. So, and luckily that gives us quite good results, you know. But evidence of the latest album, people seem to think, you know. So yeah, that's what we do. We just try and do what we think is right to do at any particular time, and hopefully it turns out okay, which is not always guaranteed, of course, you know. So
yeah, no guarantee.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Pass Chapa.
Hi. The title of the album refers to the horrible Savar building collapse in 2013.
Bangladesh, yeah.
One of the worst phases of this killing system that barely appeared in the Western media. In a certain sense, what happened was a murder more than an accident.
Corporate murder, actually, I would suggest.
Isn't it?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yes.
But it hasn't, nobody's answered for it still, really. I mean, they make all these kind of very nice, oh yeah, we'll do something about it and we'll form these committees and we'll speak about it. But
no.
nothing really happened. There's still sweatshops, you know. There's still people that go to work under conditions that are not acceptable for anybody, you know.
That's it.
That you or I would not work, you know. We would not even consider it, you know. So yeah, I mean, still nothing's been done, you know. And it's to think that something as huge as a proportion of that disaster and still nothing is done, well, then you have to ask yourself, how can this be changed, you know? Because murder is murder. A corporate murder is no different, you know. So I mean, if the companies aren't going to change, if they're under no pressure to change right now, then I think the next thing is that we are vigilant in where we put our money, you know, because if we don't give these people money, then they can't continue, you know. That's what I always try and do, you know, is try and buy my clothes from places that I know don't use sweatshops, you know.
Okay. We live in a world full of information, but at the same time, we are more uninformed than ever.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it, actually.
There are a lot of bands and artists that prefer to embrace the abstract themes and escapism, and it was never your case.
No.
Do you think that music can continue to be a revolutionary act?
Yeah, of course. Music can be anything it wants, you know. That's the beauty of music. It cannot be easily controlled, you know. It has its own persona and its own way of existing, you know. It's and because music boundless. There are infinite forms. You know, there is no limit to music. Then it becomes uncontrollable, which is great. You know, so 100%. You know, it can be anything that it needs or wants to be. You know.
Thank you.
Almost for decades of career, 15 albums, one of the fathers of the great extreme metal family. Do you ever stop to think about the immense legacy of Napalm Death, or prefer not to add extra pressure?
I mean, people speak about it more and more, you know, about that stuff. But the thing is that you can only be as effective as your next step, you know. So if you look to the past all the time, you live in the past, and living in the past is not productive, you know. So we acknowledge it, and it's really nice that people say what they say about the band. But you know, if we're going to continue, you sort of move forward, and that's the most important thing, I think, you know. But yeah, the experiences of the band has been for me on a personal level, like nothing could replace it. You know, the life experiences that I've had in Napalm Death, you could never get that anywhere else. You know, so that's really valuable. You know, I think as a human being. You know, so.
Okay. One of the main tendencies in new centuries, extreme metal, is to dynamite the frontiers and explore the fusion between styles. Napalm Death were pioneers mixing grindcore, death metal, industrial. What do you think of those fanatics of orthodoxy and weather-side hangers?
I didn't understand that last part, sorry.
What do you think of those fanatics or orthodoxy and weather-side hangers? Weather-side?
No, I think he tries to say very well-defined genders of music.
Of music, yeah. I mean, again, yeah, sure, I get that. Again, same thing, you know, it's like, if people want to be orthodox to their music, that's not a problem, you know, but they must also surely understand that other people may not see it that way. And this is the point. Music can be what it wants. There are many bands, forms of music that personally I don't care for, but that doesn't mean to say they're irrelevant, you know, just because I don't care. Other people clearly care. So yeah, music is in some ways it's beyond judgment, you know. Of course it has critical judgment, but it's beyond judgment in other ways, in that you can't say, well, that music over there is like worthless, and this that I have here is worth something, because it's
get a canonical form of a
sure,
and a style.
Yeah,
it has to evolve over time.
So I mean, I guess to get back to the actual, like, the answer is that if somebody wants to be orthodox, fine, you know, that's not a problem, you know, but you must understand that other people don't wish to do that. So everything can exist in the same, you know, general universe, you know.
There are the space.
Yeah, sure, of course.
Returning to politics, and within your experience, what do you think about these convulsed times we are living right now? About
anything specific? Yeah.
In general, we can see like the failure of the European project,
yeah,
the rise of fascism.
Sure,
in Europe,
sure.
We
Yeah.
all are getting a feeling. I don't know if it's so real, or they are trying to make us think it's happening.
Sure.
But we are feeling like.
Yeah, it's a tricky one. I mean, it's like as regards the European thing. I mean, it's quite relevant right now, being from the UK. You know, with this, as they call it, Brexit, which is a stupid term anyway. I think, you know, but it's like, here's the thing, you know. Like, the EU as an institution needs to be under scrutiny. You know, there are things that are not right with the European Union at all, you know, for sure. But here's my thing. One thing I do like about European unity is it's, like, relatively speaking, it's kept the continent free of war, you know, and almost had a very significant hand in stopping another Franco, Mussolini, Hitler, etc. You know, not necessarily the structure, but the idea of being like I've been European, but also seen beyond being European. I think it's quite a good thing, you know, because as a UK citizen, to be honest with you, I don't want to be isolated on that small island. Me personally, I don't wish to be. I actually feel more European. To be honest with you, I don't feel the need to have any identity. I don't give a shit, you know. I mean, it's not something that I care about at all, really, you know. But it's like I care more about being a human being. That's my bottom line, you know. Everything else is very, very secondary, you know. But if you were to ask me, do I feel British or European, I would, and I had to pick one, I would say European, definitely, because the experiences that Europe has given me, the many different experiences, is very valuable to me, you know. So I like that, but I also understand the need, for example, you know, Basque independence. I always understood that concept, you know. I also understood the need for, in a certain like way, Catalonian independence, which is very topical. Galician also independence. So I understand all these things, you know. So yeah, it's how to make everybody sort of exist together, really. And again, going back to the EU, you know, some things like what happened with Spain and Portugal and also Greece was the things that were enforced, you know, the austerity things. That's not right. You can't do that. You know, that's not the way to treat human beings. You know, so yeah. But there are many other things we could talk about. You know, that's just one example. You know.
Fran. Yeah, you answer the two questions. And the last one is, in any case, the existence of Napalm Death is a symbol of a struggle and hope for many of us. Right. Do you see yourself fighting many more years?
Yeah, I mean, you know, we'll do it for as long as we feel that we have a purpose, you know. As long as we feel we can be creative, you know. As long as we can feel that we can play good gigs for us, you know. Because that's where the feeling starts there, you know. That's with us, you know, before anything else. And we'll take it from there. You know, nothing lasts forever. You know, everything comes to an end. So, you know, circumstances sometimes can dictate that, you know, things can be over pretty quickly. We'll just deal with it, you know. We'll see how it goes, and you know, we'll do what we feel is right until we feel that we don't wish to or can't anymore, you know. So
okay, it's over. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay.
Despide.
Sí, despide. Bueno, pues esto ha sido Amanecer Drogado entrevistando aquí a Barney, de Greenway, de Napalm Death. It's Napalm or Napalm Death?
Well, it's in
America,
European
Napalm.
Yeah. In the European mainland generally it's Napalm.
Napalm.
And of course Spanish pronunciation is Napalm. You know.
Forever, no?
Yeah. Castellano is Napalm. You know. Yeah.
Don't ask for more, we can.
Yeah, sure. I don't know what it is in Basque though. It's probably the same. You know.
It's one of the things that are similar.
Yeah.
We can speak English.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
No problem.